All right, guys, we're ready to start this show.
Alrighty, hello, what's up, everyone?
Hi,
Welcome
everybody.
back to another Stay Fishy Friday. Checking on that screen, I see there's a little.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All right, well, so to start things off, we're going to get started with the word of the night. So, in honor of last week, we came up with the word, but we forgot the one from 2 weeks ago. So, this week's word is actually last week's word, and it's going to be Friday. So, every
Okay.
time Friday's mentioned, those who
As in Stay Fishy Friday?
Yes, those
All
who are participating, you consume.
All right, cool.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday,
Pull this
everybody.
away from the wall so you quit hitting the.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, let's get underway here. We're going to start with the Tracy update, but you guys got to, send in the questions so we can answer them. We want to turn this more fishy than less hanging out partying. More fishy, okay? But right now, let's go with the Tracy update. We've got her on the background. Isn't she cute? Look how hard she worked. She was always in a tank, under a tank, behind a tank. She was always just helping me left and right. Look at when that fish died. Look at her holding it. She's like, oh. And I'm like, hold it up for the camera. She was something else. She still is. Okay, so now this week here, we have a surprise. Let's move aside a little bit, Josh. So you're off to the side of the screen. Grab this green screen at the bottom here. Okay, up and over. Oh, no, we didn't go over. Here we go. Look what Tracy got. She got her tilted space wheelchair at any angle you want. This extends up to hold her food and stuff like that. We got provisions on the back for the air bottle. I have to make a bracket for the suction machine, but she's got a Roho seat. She's got pads on the arms. She's got pump up things in the all across the backrest. They forgot the chest strap, so they're still sending that. So the chest strap is to keep her from falling forward. And we got the adjustable headrest on here, and she was in it today for 3 hours. Then we took her, got her out, changed her, fed her, and then put her back in it for another 2 hours. She never showed that, usually after, we've worked her up to 3 hours where she showed signs of fatigue and she's tired and she's not happy looking. She was content as can be in this thing. It must be really comfortable. So we finally got her. Let me change his background so you can get a good look at it. Let me go to the Tracy slide, turn that off.
All these shadows are kind of wigging out the green screen.
That's all right. Let's do it like this. Not solid black. What's a good one? The coral background's a good one. No?
It don't matter what background.
The cichlid background. There we go. Now you can see it. Nice light background. So it's a nice chair, rolls really easy. We can take her outside. It's very nice. She's very we've been waiting for it forever. So she's got her new chair. And you can't tell, but the base is pink. So she's good to go. If you want to take this in there, we can get it out of our way. So good things happening during the week for Tracy. Now she's been in that chair today for 5 hours, and we took her around the place. We took her and showed her different things, and we can if she starts falling forward, we can tilt it back a little bit. If she leans all the way back, we can tilt it forward to her. She holds her own head up. That's the whole thing. She's now able to hold her own head up for 3 hours at a time, which before she couldn't, maybe a half hour at a time. She's worked on that and got that really, really good. So let me see anything else that's new for her. We got the bed ordered, and if you guys saw Reaper's video yesterday, you saw Mara going off on these people. She wants this new bed because Tracy is moving so much that she's moving her legs off the sides. We need a bed with bottom rails, and because the bed we have was donated to us, we can't call the company and say you need to add this or do that. So the company or her insurance is willing to pay for it, so they're getting us a new bed with 2 sets of rails, top and bottom. And they're going to have that here a week and a half or so. Mara went off on him on the phone. It was great. I videoed all of it. She was like, "No, ma'am, that's wrong, ma'am. No." I was like, "Wow, let me get the phone because Mara's going off." So I videoed that, and it's on Reaper's video from yesterday. It was great, and so she's doing really good. And let me see, what else can I tell about her? She watches Ohio Fish Rescue all day. Every once in a while, Mara will turn it on her soap operas or whatever she watches, and Evelyn watches some as a Puerto Rican soap opera, and now she's like almost got me hooked on it. I don't like it. Every time I walk through, I'm like, "What's happening now?" So these ladies and their soap operas. I tell you what,
Kind of reminds me of your General Hospital days.
oh, you stop it. I'm sitting here. I've got Tracy, Mara was here, Evelyn was here, the other nurse, Brittany was here, and they were all, talking amongst each other. And I'm sitting in my kitchen, like just leaning there by myself over here. And I forgot who it was that walked through. I'm like, this is my life now. I'm just sitting here while the ladies take over. Oh, goodness. So, but yeah, Tracy's doing really well. She's needing less air. She's getting easier to take care of. We don't have to have her on the oxygen so much. I mean, we take her off for 2 hours at a time, and she still stays at the 97, 98% saturation. So she don't really need the oxygen anymore. She's doing really a great job of coughing it up and getting out of there. Of course, we're not going to take her off the oxygen right now until she's completely don't needs it, which is where she'll never go below, like, say, 97, no matter how many hours we got her off, or 95, no matter how many hours we got her off. If she can maintain that herself, see, the one problem is if she don't cough it up and her saturation goes low, we have to suction her out to make her saturation in her bloodstream go back up. Well, the problem is if we get rid of the trach like we wanted to do is wean her off of it, we don't have that availability. So we have to keep her on the trach pretty much indefinitely until she's awake and can, cough on her own, to where she coughs on her own now. But, like, she has better weeks than other weeks. Other weeks we have to suction her trach out, every hour on the hour. This last week we haven't had to, but once a day. It's been really a lot easier taking care of her. So she's getting to where she's taking care of herself like that, So anything else I can tell about Mom? We keep her in clothes all the time now. Well, Mara does.
Added some stuff to her pond today.
Oh, wait till tomorrow's video. We've added a bunch of koi to her pond, big, huge koi. So tomorrow's video is going to show the release of these new koi and this great family that came out from. It was a 4.5-hour drive. They stopped here right before the live stream. I just got done doing the tour with them, and I showed them, and it was a great thing. And they helped us say the tagline, "Stay fishy, my friends." And they left, and I come in here to do the live stream. So that'll all be on tomorrow's video. It's going to be a fun video tomorrow. You're going to see just how big these koi are, and they were monsters.
All right.
Good.
You're all good?
All righty.
So we got Terry time, oldest and baddest. She joined the green team. So welcome to the green team. And she said, happy Friday.
Thank you. Let's do this.
And we have Omar Acevedo for $5. He said, Friday, Friday, Friday. Cheers to you, bro.
I'm still trying to find this background I want on.
Which one
the pool pond background, and then number 2. Okay. Do you guys see the background? It's back there right there. That's what the pool pond sort of looks like now. This was like a month or 2 ago. It's a little more plants now, stuff like that. But this is what it looked like before we changed it. I found that today. Mm-hmm. That's our pool. And that's see up here, this is what right there. This is the pool cover. That's automatic. It's got a track on each side that went down the whole side. I can't even get this right. Right here, this way. No, this is backwards from ours. There's a track down each side of the pool, and that used to close all the way. Yeah, that's right. It's not easy, is it?
On each side of the pool.
There you go. Now do this one over here, or this one over here.
Down that way.
There you go. So and see that metal across the center right there? That is the top of the pool cover. Now, when that would automatically close, it was covered with this like canvas. I used to throw the kids out there and we'd wrestle on top of it. You know, they'd be getting dad and throwing me down, and I'd throw them down. You know, and this it was like wrestling on a waterbed. It was fun. I miss them days.
So you look at that picture there. The pool looks big. The room looks big.
Yeah.
Now with everything crammed in there, it looks so tiny.
Yeah, it does.
So
it looks like a lot smaller pool for sure.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. Like, that's not what you say it is. Well,
that is 12 foot deep on that end. There's this end. There's the drain. That's at 12 foot deep, and it's 25 across and it's 50 this way. So it's a big,
little over 25 wide and 45 long. We don't want someone in the comments, because everyone does that.
Yeah, it's 48 and a half or something, long. But 25 by 50 is what I've always said. But yeah, that's what it used to look like. It was a fun thing, and we always kept it warm. 80, 88 or something like that. It was like a warm bath to get into, and we were always in it. And now it looks like this, and we're waiting for Tracy to get back in it because she was the first one in our pool with fish. I was the first one to put fish in the pool, but she was the first one to swim with them.
We got Rough Ivy Rose. Welcome to the green team. Now we have Lasky and Sons Woodworking for $20. Says, love you guys. So amazing what you guys do. Well, thank you. We got Mark Fenton. He said, lots of love from the UK. Team Tracy, you guys are great. And Kevin Josie said, bought a sterlet sturgeon from Rod. I will tank raise and move to a pond. I was told people struggle to raise them. Any insight? They need lots of aeration and cooler.
Why did ours die? We had a little baby one, and it died. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. What happened? Do you remember? Otherwise,
yeah.
we'd have a big sturgeon now.
Mm-hmm. They were put in with a bunch of other smaller fish, and I think they just got lost. Never found them.
They died or got eaten or something.
Had to have.
Yeah.
All right, we got Joe Canadian for $10. He said, keep up the great work. Did Rich try on the mermaid outfit yet? Love the Tracy.
No, I don't actually know. Somebody put up a GoFundMe for it, and the last I saw it was like at $150. I don't know what it's up to right now. If somebody can send me the link on YouTube, I'd like to refine that. And then we had $150 that people sent in as donations, and on the donation there, like for Rich and the mermaid outfit. So I know I've got $150 in the donations, and then $150 on his GoFundMe account. So whenever it reaches it, if that's what you guys want, I'll do it. But I'm telling you, ain't no one want to see that.
Everyone wants to see it. All right, so we have for those watching that want to know the drinking word, it is Friday. Every time
it should be
Friday.
Joe Canadian 1 says, hey, from Canada, since it's nearly Halloween here, the drinking word should be Josh's baby nickname, Pumpkin.
No repeatsies.
Pumpkin.
No repeatsies.
I just like saying pumpkin.
You have 52 streams a year. If you can't come up with 52 words a year, you're out of here.
All right.
All right, we have Sir
wait, Kevin Josie was here. Or is here. We didn't bring out our Tillamook jerky.
No, yeah, I've been eating it.
Guys, gotta save some for the Fridays.
Go grab a bag if you want.
Yeah, go grab a bag. Tillamook jerky, the best on the planet. It's so good. I had to hide it from my sight because I just couldn't stop snacking on it. And you got to remember, I'm up 24 hours a day, every day. I sleep 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes here all night long. But I'm up all night with Tracy. And if this stuff's laying around, oh my goodness, I cannot keep my hands off of it. It's so soft. You can feel it in the bag. Oh my God. Good jerky. Good jerky.
We have Sir Salt for $2. Says, bought a plastic cover for my koi pond for the winter. That must be nice.
Good deal.
I wish we could find a plastic cover for ours.
Like a tonneau cover that's 40 foot wide and 30 foot long.
That would be great.
I'd have to hook it up to a remote control thing to open up.
Now we got Lay Shelton for $5. He said, "Good evening, me old muckers."
Hey, what's up, buddy? I've been friends with him on Facebook for probably 2-3 years now. He's the guy that he's got a tattoo on the back of his head. Looks like a person.
Mm-hmm.
So he turns around backwards and it looks like he's looking at you. Okay, did you get the Marie Dean says, did you get the shower done for Tracy? Continued prayers and hashtag Team Tracy. Oh, thank you. We actually did not. We did remove the wall and we called the company and then we haven't heard from them for 3.5 weeks now. They actually called today. So my question was, what inside dimensions do you want this new wall up at? Because you're putting in a 5-foot wide shower at 60 inches. Do you want it at 60 inches? Do you want it at 60 and a half? Do you want it at 62? I mean, I need to know these things before I build this wall. The wall only take us 2 hours to build, and we'll cover it with drywall. It's no biggie. But we didn't want to put it there, and then he needs an extra half inch. We have to move the wall. So finally, they got a hold of me today, and they said, thank you for doing that, because they actually need 61 inches inside opening with no drywall. He says there will be no drywall or green board or nothing behind the shower. He will fix it out with wedges and all that. But it goes straight to the 2x4s. So we can go ahead and put the wall in now at 61 inches, and then we can cover the outside, and we can decide where we want the 36-inch door to go. Because with the new shower, ours was 3 foot wide. They're putting in like a 40 or 44 inches wide. So like 3.5, almost 4 foot wide shower, and a foot longer, so that I can, take care of her in the shower chair. So 2 of us have to be in, then I have to be able to walk around her. So once we get that in, we figure 4 foot for that shower there, and then I got 2 foot for the sink and vanity. Now, whatever's left in the middle of that, we're going to center the door in between, and the door is going to be 36 inches. So, yeah, we need to. Do we need like a 38-inch opening for the 36-inch door? I didn't ask that. We can look at Home Depot at their 36-inch doors, come with frames, and see what opening it calls for, and leave it at that. Yeah. So it's going to be done soon is what I'm getting at. But they finally moved on it. We got her chair today. We got the bedroom, the bathroom getting ready to be done. And we got the bed coming in. So, yes, things are looking a lot easier, a lot better. And Tracy's a lot happier, of course. And, I took the Hoyer lift and I made an extension on it. And then I got the scale on the end of this. So now we can weigh her at any time without pieces falling off or none of that or not being strong enough. I welded this thing together, and because the Hoyer lift can only lift up so high, it's an extension. So it lifts up another 6 inches, goes out 1.5 feet. We can now pick her up and weigh her every Friday and be good with that. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are becoming more easy and or let's say easier. More easy isn't correct English, but it's we're getting into the flow of things, and I'm getting used to the nurses calling off, and I'm getting used to how great the nurses are when they're here and all that stuff. And then today on Reaper's video last night, everybody's like, "Oh, Mara's the best, and Mara's great, Mara's awesome." I read her all these things, and I had her in tears today. She's such a good lady.
Yeah, Miss Leslie, she says, love seeing Tracy out by the pond.
We're going to have more of that. Now that we can put her in her chair and sit her back a little, I can take her and she can stay in her chair a lot longer. She was sitting so straight up before that she was wanting to lean forward, and we had a strap across her chest holding her back. So her head was going forward and she wasn't happy. Now she can just like relax in a recliner. She's happy as can be. She's on a Roho seat, which is an air-filled cushion. And the guy adjusted it today. We filled it up all the way, and he put his hand under there, touched the bottom of the seat. And when Tracy's butt come down and started touching him, that was it. So now we can bounce Tracy up and down, and she never touches the seat. She's on the Roho cushion, the air cushion. It's very nice. So she's just as comfortable as can be. She already proved it today by staying in it longer than normal. So I'm very happy with the way things are going. Do I wish the progress was faster? Yes, of course I do. You all want to see her up and about. So do I. I talk to her every day, and I got to take it at her pace. You know, remember the doctor said she would never come off those machines. She did in the first week. She worked herself off all those machines. The doctor said she would never open her eyes. She did. You know, the doctor said she would never be out of a coma. She came out of a coma. She was in the vegetative state, and she worked all the way from the bottom of the vegetative state all the way to the top, and she's teetering at the top of the vegetative state and the minimally conscious state. Minimally conscious, you can communicate just erratically and very not very well at all, but you still can. So I was trying with the blinking of the eyes, blink your eyes twice, and she was doing it for like 4 months now. She'd been doing this. She'd been answering questions and stuff. But here, all it was she learned a new trick. When I say the words blink her eyes, she blinks her eyes. So if I ask her, honey, do you want me to take some peanut butter and put on your tongue? Because remember, with the trach-in, she's not gotten no food through her mouth. She gets belly fed through the peg tube, and the trach is the air. So her mouth and her nose is never being used. So when I put peanut butter in there, it gives her a taste and a flavor, you know. And at first she was like, I can just tell she liked it, you know. Because when the nurses try and brush her teeth, she bites the toothbrush. She don't like the mintiness, I guess. I don't know. But so when I ask her questions like that, and she blinks twice for yes, I'm like, okay, so I give it to her. And then, you know, I ask her other questions. Well, if I keep asking her questions for yes, she's going to keep answering yes. Here's where I had to come in. I asked her if she wanted to be like, you know, a big hairy buffalo or a green station wagon. And she blinks yes. So that tells me she learned a new trick. She's not coherent. So the doctor told me to try closing her eyes. So if she holds her eyes closed for 3 seconds, that's something she don't normally do. You know, you never see that unless she goes to sleep and then she's asleep. You never see her while she's wide awake and bushy-tailed, you know, close her eyes for 3 seconds. Well, I tell her now to close her eyes all the time. And she done it all last week. She was doing really well. I showed the nurses. I showed strangers, you know, people that come over here. By strangers, I mean people that come and help around here. Not strangers, but people that aren't normally around Tracy. I showed them, and she's doing it. I'm all proud of it. Well, yesterday she stopped doing it, and today she hasn't done it at all. She don't seem like she's there today. She seems like she's distant. So, you know, it's would I'd like her to continue progressing faster, of course, but I got to just keep taking care of her body until her mind can catch up. Because screw what them doctors said. She's already so far past what they said, you know, that I got to give her time. And the more time she gets, the more things she learns. So if I can get to the point where I can communicate with her and give her some sort of quality of life, I'd be happy with just that. So anything after that is a bonus. So, you know, she's made it all the way up to the communicating part. And right now we're going back and forth. So I'm thinking in a month from now, we'll be past that. We'll be better, you know? So I don't know. Of course I want it to happen right now. Wake up, honey. Let's go back to the way we were, you know? And that ain't going to happen. When she does wake up, she's going to be sort of like a baby. She's going to have to relearn to talk, relearn to walk, relearn to move all of her muscles. Remember, the brainstem got damaged from the lack of oxygen. Her brain died. Now her neurons have to make new pathways, and she has to learn it all over again. But if she can understand me enough to where, honey, are you in pain? She closes her eyes. Okay, I'm going to touch different parts of your body. You tell me when, you know, and I touch her arm. I touch her, you know, her butt, her leg, her knee. When I get to, her ankle, and she closes her eyes, I know her ankle's hurting. I could rub her ankle for her, you know, that kind of stuff. It'd make her quality of life much better. You know, that kind of, I don't know. I want it all, and I want it all now. But you have to wait. You know, she went through a very traumatic injury. She actually died, and she shouldn't be here today. By the works of, you know, the EMTs and you know, everything I could do, we got her to still be here on the planet. But her ticket came and left. She was dead. She was gone. And we got her back, but there's a little bit of damage, so we're crossing our fingers every day. We're working with her. We got her body back in A1 shape. She has no bed sores, no sores anywhere. She's back to her normal weight. She ain't bone skinny like she came home from the hospital. She looked like a skeleton. It was horrid looking. She's got her muscle tone back. You know, we work her out all the time. She looks like Tracy. If she would wake up, open her eyes and say, hi, Rich, it'd look like this never happened. That's how well we've got her body back. So we're just waiting on her mind now.
All right, we've got Tammy Denny for $20. Said, would love to see Bigrich as a merman. LOL.
Oh
Hashtag Big Rich Mermaid Fun.
No. We don't miss. Sir Salt says, do you miss swimming in the pool? We still go swimming in the pool. We swim with the fish. They do not bother you. They come up to you looking for food. But if you ain't got food, they swim away and leave you alone. If you ever swim at them, they take off. So the thing that scares people, like Josh will get in there and he'll go scuba diving and he'll swim away. Well, all 3 alligator guards are on his tail. They're looking for food.
Yeah,
he didn't show them. He didn't show them that there's no food yet.
Don't trust him.
All you got to do is turn around and like try and pet them and they'll swim away.
Nope.
Nope. Josh, don't trust them.
Nope. I got attacked by one that's about the size of the smallest one in there. I don't play those games.
Oh man, that was a great story too. That was crazy. He did get attacked and it bit him. You know, say this is his foot. It bit him on the side of his foot like this, and it was shaking his foot. It was crazy. His bottom jaw was under the foot. His top jaw was over the top of the foot. And, you know, there's 100 teeth going around this whole beak. And it's like 100 hypodermic needles right in the top of Josh's foot and right under his foot. When this fish let go, he had 100 dots of blood all the way around. It was crazy. And he didn't yell, scream, run, nothing. You know, we're actually carrying something into the pool pond. And it was heavy. It was a
400-pound biotower.
400-pound biotower full of biobacteria. And we're moving it from one place to put it into the pool. And I'm walking backwards and I step into the pool and I walk backwards. Josh gets 1 foot over. He gets his other foot over and he starts doing this thing. I'm like, Josh, who messing around, boy? It's heavy. He goes, Dad, fish got my foot. I'm like, hey, shut up. I look over and sure enough, that alligator guard was shaking him and just shaking him and shaking his foot back and forth. I'm like, oh my God, my son's a beast. He didn't yell. He did nothing. He's just sitting there and the thing shaking his foot. He didn't let go. He's still holding on to the filter. Finding the fish let go as I was like tripping out and it swam away. And we set the thing down and I got Josh out of the pool and I looked and oh my God, there's bite marks all the way around the top and bottom of your foot. That thing, it drew blood. And we have no idea why it attacked him. Nothing has ever attacked us since like that, other than that little clownfish that goes in the anemones. That thing bites me every time I put my hand in that water. Hate that little fish.
Hey, that guard though, he had something loose in his head. He's the one who got tuberculosis, our first and only case.
Yeah.
Which you guys should be careful with that because if your fish gets tuberculosis, it can be transmitted to humans.
It didn't in that case.
Correct. All right, we got Jim Sheasley.
Girls, that's one of that sentence. You like that pain, son?
We got Jim Sheasley for $5.
Buddy.
He said, "Happy Fishy Friday."
Thanks, Jim. How you doing, buddy? Here's to you. I got nothing here, but where's the toilet roll when you need it?
People are asking about the Dwight Howard collab with Brett. Have you heard anything about that?
Haven't heard from him except for on. I think it was here. I've got a text from him here. Let me go to here. Let me go to beginning search.
So while you're doing that, you can speak to yourself. We got Raheem asked when the saltwater 220 tank is getting ready. The tank is good to go. We just have to find a stand for it or build a stand. So once that's done, the 220 can be set up and he can have his 220.
It was my birthday, September 3rd, and he contacted me and he says, "Happy birthday, brother. Hope you have an awesome day." I go, "Dude, seriously, that's awesome of you. Thanks. When you come in east, we will do a video and give you the tour. But anyways, thanks. You're the best, man." He goes, "Soon, working on some things in Vegas, but before Dallas for sure." Well, Dallas is coming up in 3 weeks, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5 weeks. He's still not made it here. So all I can go by is what other people tell me. So he said he'd be here before Dallas. I don't know. So we'll see. If not, it's no big deal. It's okay. He's a busy man. We'll get on it. But he is going to come out here and collab with me and get this Dwight Howard tank set up as a fish tank so that we can use it for our things. People are saying it'd be a waste not to use it as a reptile tank, but we don't do reptiles here. We don't have reptiles, and we don't want to embark into more work. So we're not the reptarium. We're not the reptile place. We are fish rescue. We got to stay true to what we are. If we bring in reptiles, we got a temporary place for them until we find them a home type thing,
All right, we are caught up. Nope, we got Jim Sheasley again, $5. It says, does your clownfish have a name? Mine's name was Chomp, and he always would bite me too. Friday, Friday, Friday.
How about, here you go, Jim. Here's to you, brother. 3 Fridays. How about we name our clownfish after Jim and name it Chomp? So Jim don't have his clownfish no more. I don't have a name for this one. Chomp seems fitting.
Sure, we can do that.
All right, Jim. That clownfish's name is Chomp now. You ever come over and I serve you little tidbits of fish sticks or something, they're this big. No, that's the only fish that aggravates me, because as soon as my hand goes in that tank, he's biting me and it hurts. I've been bit by big fish and it's like, it's not a big deal. This little thing has teeth or something because he draws blood. Like it's like I stick my hand in there, it feels like someone's poking me, jabbing me with a needle, and I jerk out. It sucks. It's horrible. I can't fix the reef. I can't fix any of the corals in there. I have to set up guard and put a stick in there and hold him at bay while I stick my hand in over here and fix things.
Stephen Mochin says tuberculosis is a lung disease. Fish don't have lungs.
Well, there is fish tuberculosis. You are sadly mistaken, son.
Tuberculosis might be a lung disease, but a quick Google search would
Go ahead,
tell you everything you want to know about fish tuberculosis. It's actually a mycobacteria infection that is deadly and can be passed from fish to humans, but it is known as fish tuberculosis.
It may not actually be human tuberculosis, but there is a disease called fish tuberculosis, and it is bad. It is severe, can be spread to humans, and it's almost never curable. You got to catch it so early, and you don't see it, because that's the one with the red streaks on the belly. By the time you see it, that's septicemia. That's bad too.
Fish tuberculosis, like in GAR, they'll curl up into an S, and it'll look like their spine's bent in an S. They can't straighten out. But by the time they start showing signs of TB, it's already too late. So 99 times out of 100, it's non-treatable.
Once you see your fish curl up like that, and you're like, oh, I know what that is, start digging a hole. Nothing you can do. It's too late.
And also at the same time, if they have it, you kind of don't want to be in that tank messing around with them, because it could transfer to humans. And
if you have any little cut on your cuticle, on your arms and knuckles, anything, that's a way in.
Fish Adventure says it's comet goldfish and algae eater, be okay in a 125.
Well, of course.
Yeah, it's a great size tank for him. All right.
Raheem says on Halloween Day, it would be a good idea for Bigrich to dress up as a merman. I am dressing up as a fat man. I will be at Aquashella, and this will be what I'm wearing, except for I'll have an OFR shirt on. This is me. I'm dressing up as Bigrich from Ohio Fish Rescue. That big guy.
All right. Bill Smith says, how much would a 75-gallon setup weigh full? Well, the weight of water is like 8.9
just say 9
pounds
a gallon.
And then you have the weight of the tank. So we round that up to 10 pounds per gallon of tank. There you go. So
750 pounds with your stand and
gravel.
Anything. Yeah.
But gravel also displaces water, so you got to take that into account. But for safe measures,
overthinking it, 750. It's not that much. Figure it like this. Can 3 adults stand, maybe 4 adults, stand where you want to put that tank? If they can, then you're fine. 4 adults, you don't think of that. Well, that's 200 pounds apiece. That's 800 pounds. That's more than the 750 of the fish tank, So
Steve Mochin for $5. He says, "I was learned." Well, that's what we're all about here. You know, we're
Yes.
all about educating the
Education and not
masses.
shaming. You know, we could have been like, oh, you dumb. We're not like that. Yes, you said something. You're wrong. I'm sorry. Don't mean to put you out there on Front Street, but this is what, we're here to educate, like he says. Smart boy. I like the guy that raised him.
I know.
Mm.
Pete the Geek says, "What do you feed your discus?"
Mostly brine shrimp cubes, because I learned this really cool trick from my followers. You take it and you squeeze it against the glass and it sticks there, and they come up and eat off of it. Now, if I wanted to spend money and give them the best food that I can give them, I would have a live bloodworm feeder. It's like $3. It's a little cone shaped thing that floats, and you put live bloodworms up there, or what, blackworms, bloodworms, what else are they called?
Blackworms and bloodworms.
Okay. You put them in the little feeder, and then they stick their bodies through the holes, and they hang on up here, and the fish come up and pick them off. If you put the bloodworms in, normally it would sink to the bottom, and they would go all into the sand, and the fish wouldn't get any of them. You might get a few on the way down, but that's it. So that's what I feed, is the freeze-dried square chunks of bloodworms. And if I was going to waste money and spend money, make sure my boys had the best, I would get the live bloodworms.
So Dave Hudson says, "Use gloves in the water, people." For some, that might work, but I am an advocate. If you are exposed to the bacteria, your body will naturally take care of the infection. So, like in the beginning of our fish keeping thing, I was shaving and I cut my face shaving, and getting into the aquarium, some bacteria got in there, and I actually got staph on the side of my face. It blew up, and it was aquarium specific bacteria that causes staph. But ever since then, I've never had any sort of infection again from the fish.
My hands are always got cuts on them, from working and stuff, and I never had any kind of breakout. I'm in that now. I know today's culture and kids today want to, oh, don't do this. You got to get vaccinated. You got to do this. You got to wear gloves. You got to wear the mask. You got to do this. Well, what you're doing is you're keeping yourself from bacteria. You got to remember, kids in our days ate dirt. They ate worms. They ate bugs. Kids, you make yourself a natural resistance to all these different bacterias.
But that same concept goes with your fish. If you keep them in a sterile tank all their life, and then
they're susceptible to anything,
and you introduce a new fish from your friend's tank who's been up for 20 years, but he always feeds feeders or whatnot, you're feeding all these bacteria into someone with a weak immune system. And half the time you introduce that fish and your tank gets ick out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. Well, your answer's right there.
Yeah. Marie Dean says, "Tracy is a miracle. Keep the faith." I will. Thank you. I will definitely do that. I have been doing that against all odds. She's still here. And you know what? I get to talk to her. People say things like this all the time about, it'd been easier just to let her pass. It'd be the right thing to do. Let her pass. All this, I don't get that, because I'd want her to fight for me. If I was down, give me the chance to fight back. If I don't come back, let me pass on. I get that. Okay. But she's made improvements this whole year and a half since this has happened. She's made improvements. So, I'm going to give her more time, and right now I can't see. There's no plug to pull. I can't pull a plug. She'll be fine. I pull the thing. All it is a moisture thing going into her trach to keep her lungs moist, which is what you normally do when you breathe in through your nose. You go through your sinuses, and then the air warms up and then goes into your lungs. Moist, warm air going in your lungs, and you breathe it out. If you ever breathed onto a mirror, you'll see hot, moist air. Well, that comes from somewhere. So by having the trach in, she's not using her nose or mouth. She's breathing in here, and it could really dry out and it's called mucus plugs, where it dries out and hardens up and closes off a section of your lungs. She could die like that. So you have to have the moisture going in there. That's the only machine she's on, and it's not to be live. It's to be on the trach, because she could be off that trach right now and she'd breathe through her nose and everything would be fine. I know this for a fact, but we don't want to take that chance because once you take a trach out, you can't just put it back in, and she might die before we get her back to, so I'm going to keep testing her and keep doing things like that. And I believe she would not die. She's healthy. She's very, very healthy right now.
We got Ange for $5. She said hashtag Team
Hi,
Tracy, hashtag OFR rocks.
Mm-hmm. I love our people. Thank you, Ange.
Uh,
Dougie says you can tell the passion for how much Bigrich loves Tracy and cares for Tracy. Aw, thank you.
we've got Joey for $5. He said, "Can I get another hand wiggle?"
No,
I'm joking.
no.
He
Oh,
didn't
you're lying? You trying to get me to do that? I got off the thing last week, and I'm like, you know what? I'll be damned. Look what he made me do for $5. Now he's probably laughing about it. I didn't take that into consideration when I did it. I'm just like, hey, no problem. Would he shake his butt for me for $5? I don't think so.
He likes making people laugh. He might do it.
He might. He's funny.
More questions.
Okay, let me say one thing. To all of our mods out there, you guys are doing a great job. But there's one thing I don't see happening. When new people come on, it's our mods' job to welcome everybody. I mean, think of it this way. If you go on to some live stream and you go, "Hi all, it's me, Cleveland's Best Adventure," and no one says hi to you, you kind of feel left out or like a schmuck or something. So one of the jobs of all the mods, which you're doing a great job, and I'm very proud of all you guys. You guys do great. But if you could incorporate this a little more, when somebody new comes on and says, "Hi all," we need people to say, "Hi, welcome to the show," or something like that, that's the only thing you guys are lacking. Other than that, you guys are on top of things. You're making my life easier. You're making the rescue's life easier. And I'm darn glad to have you guys here as our mods. You guys are great. Okay, go on, Josh.
I lost it.
Samantha Norland says, "Don't swim with them naked." Of course not.
Someone's asking my current weight.
Yeah, what are you?
About 160.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Thought you were putting on all this muscle and you were gaining weight.
I was down to 140.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys got to remember, you watch Josh, and Josh has his friends over.
180 at my heaviest.
Well, that's when you were fat with a beer belly.
Mm-hmm.
Then you went down to 140. Now you're back to 160.
Yeah.
Okay, but no fat.
A wee bit.
No, you got an 8-pack that's like crazy.
I've been getting lax.
So, but you got to understand, all Josh's friends that come over here, Josh tries getting them to do something. Josh grabs his side and they're like, "Oh, I can't do this." It takes 2 of his friends to do the other side. Josh lifts tanks with me all the time. He's super, super strong. He may not look it, but he is. I mean, he's strong as can be. And his friends are like, I don't see it because this one buddy comes over here and he's all built and he can't lift what Josh can lift. And it's just funny. Shame him on in the weight room.
Keep losing my spit.
Con Worker 1 says, "So a new category, F&M, not S&M? What is F&M?"
No idea. We got Lorcan 96 says, "What do you guys prefer, glass or acrylic tanks?"
Ooh, for small tank, glass, for sure. Large tanks, acrylic. Period.
Yep. Actually, I'm gonna veto that. Screw acrylic aquariums. I would much rather have fiberglass with an acrylic front.
Oh, this kid.
So
me and him getting ready to fight there for a second.
So, everyone wants the only point of having an all acrylic aquarium is so you can view it from all sides. If you're putting it up against the wall, what's the point? You're paying all this money for an acrylic show tank and it's doing you no good. I have this battle out with so many people all the time. And
not only that, Now you got to clean the back walls, the side walls, and all that just to show the front. So yes, a fiberglass tank with a acrylic front is awesome when you put it up against the wall. All of our tanks are against the wall, basically. And even our 2200, it's not against the wall, and we don't show it on all sides. We put a black background on it, so you can only see it from this side. So
that tank probably, when it was first built, it was super expensive.
It was over 100,000.
Just the tank alone, just to build on it. 2 years ago, when we got it, I got a quote from actual ATM. Just the tank alone, for them to build it, was 50,000 just for the tank, not the stand.
I was told when we got that tank in Kentucky, it was over $100,000 he had invested into that.
That was
for the life
install.
support. That was the stand, the canopy, and the tank.
Yep, and for them to come in and install it and
could be. I don't know.
I'm telling you, I got the receipt.
Oh, you found the receipt?
I was sent it. I was the one who set up that deal. They sent me the original receipt.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was for pay their movers, the installers, the full life support system, everything.
Daniel Tracy Ann says, how tall is Josh? He is 6 foot, maybe 6.5. I'm 6'1", and he's a little shyer than me.
So back to what I was saying, since you so rudely interrupted.
Go ahead.
I would trade every single acrylic tank that we have for an actual FRP tank of the same size.
Our 4400 is an FRP. Now, we got that used, 15 years ago? And it's been up here for 10 years. It sat outside in the snow for 2 years. And, we drove. Oh, it actually fell off of the forklift, hit the ground, hit his Audi, knocked it back 4 feet. It also went through heck on the highway coming here. I don't know if you guys know about trailers, but if you put the load too far back on the trailer, the faster you go, the more your trailer will do this. Okay. So I'm starting to go, and we get up to 55, and all of a sudden the trailer starts going back and forth and back and forth. And Josh is behind me in a car, and he's calling me, and I'm like, whoa, because I'm jerking. The whole butt of the truck is going back and forth, and I'm trying to correct. And next thing you know, I see this thing up on 2 wheels almost beside me. I'm like, oh no, this is not going to end well. And I was able to correct it back and then get it less and less and less and less. And we slowed down. All of our hearts were beating so crazy. Josh called me. He's like, Dad. Wow. So yeah, that tank has been through some crazy stuff, and it is still here. Never leaked once. Always great. Yeah, I love FRP tanks with acrylic front windows.
All right. So more questions in the chat, guys. If you guys want questions, put them in there, and we will get to them. I know I haven't got to everyone, so if you didn't get yours read, go ahead and repost it. And I can't see every single one because my chat jumps, but we at least try. Someone's asking about catfish that can stay in a 180 full term.
Any smaller catfish?
An eclipse cat, sun cat.
Sun cats, yeah. Vulture cats.
They get about 2 foot. I wouldn't do that. And they get mean. They might be taking nips at fish.
Okay, Baffy says, only problem I have with acrylic is big plecos will just destroy them. All right.
And arowanas and catfish. The acrylic's so soft.
It's soft. We've had fish bash them and scratch them and all that kind of stuff. I've seen this thing about plecos putting divots in the things. I've never had it happen to me. And I've got the world's biggest pleco here. He's not an acrylic tank, right? We just don't take the risk. He is right. But we've had big plecos in the 4400 before, when that was our only big tank.
They were 18-inch,
18-inch, 20-inch
foot monster. You see the size,
but no. When people say a big pleco, they're talking common plecos get up to 2 foot. That's what they're talking about. An Adonis pleco isn't known for eating acrylic, and it gets a 3 foot. That's an oddball type thing.
I just know when he's stuck to that glass and you try and move him, that sucker does not want to move.
You can't. Oh, Von Ninja's been here. Hey, buddy.
And we've actually seen, kind of the same theory, but out of the high fin banded loaches, they will actually pit your acrylic as well. So that I've seen.
All right, Michael says, how crazy does my stand have to be to hold 900 gallons? Okay, 900 gallons would be 9,000 pounds, basically. So now, if it's 10 foot long, all four corners, and you're talking 9,000 pounds, split that in half, 4,500 on the left, 4,500 on the right, which is way over because the center's going to take some. So now you're talking 2,300 for each side, and then a post in, and then each side. A 4x4 can do that. So it doesn't really have to be that bad. I built for my 1,000-gallon just wood, pressure treated wood, 1x8s, 1x6s. 1x6s. Every foot on center is a joist going up, and then a post or a joist going across. Posts go up. Every foot is a 1x6 going up, and it connects to the backside 4 foot away and then goes down. Every foot along that whole thing. And that thing's been up for 15 years.
Yeah, it was at the old house.
It was at the old house. 15 years it's been up and running, and we've never had a problem just on the 1x6s. So you don't have to go that crazy. You know, a 900 gallon, I do the same thing. Go every foot on center, 1x6, and make it go a post, a joist, and a post. That's it. And then, sheath it so that you have, see, if you make your square stand, it could still twist and flex. Once you put sheathing on it on the front, it won't do that. Do it on the back and the sides too.
So Danielle Tracy Ann says, guys, are y'all going to add some plants or something at the top of the coral in the pond? No, that coral's actually going to Brian Barczyk for his new aquarium.
Brian Barczyk at the Reptarium is building onto his building. So the Reptarium is downstairs. I told him to swap it, but he's putting the aquarium upstairs. The aquarium should be downstairs and the Reptarium should be upstairs. But because heat rises for one, the weight of the tanks for two, it's just all around smarter. But, he's built this and he says it's going to be built to handle it. Don't worry about it. He's putting big money into expanding the Reptarium up in Michigan. So, we gave him, I don't know if you can see this. Let me click this background right here. No, it's cut off. I have a bunch of that.
This is old.
Yeah, that fake coral right there is we're giving to him. And then a bunch of other fake corals that, people don't like. So we're giving them all to him.
Alrighty, Drew Figueroa says, what fish will you put in the 580? So we can't tell you yet, but there might be a need for both the 750 and the 580 very, 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 very soon. And they might be packed very, 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 very full. But they'd have to be ran off of the pond water, and they would just be extensions of tanks would just pass through at a large volume. Very, very large volume.
Guys, can you do me a favor? Go hit them likes. We got 316 people here and only 100 likes. Go hit them like buttons for me. Mash that button. Appreciate it.
How big is your oldest Oscar?
I don't know how old he is.
They said how big.
Okay. Well, is your oldest Oscar. I'm saying I don't know how old he is, but he is 17 and a quarter inches long, and I have never seen another Oscar bigger. We have a next one, which is 16 and 3/4 inches long, in with him. So, I get a lot of people saying, well, mine's 20 inches. And, you get there and you measure it and it's 14 and a half. Come on, people, take a tape measure. Don't just guess. I feel for your girlfriends.
We got Rob Case for $25. He didn't say anything. So happy Friday.
He's the guy that just sent us the check for $25 and says, I don't make much, but here's what I can give. And I was like, thank you, brother. Thank you. And now he's giving another 25. You're the best, brother. Stop. You don't have to do that. We'd rather have our money come from big, chain stores, pet stores, it's people that sell Pacu, the people that cause the problem. So, don't give until it hurts. Don't. Love you, but thank you.
Are there still cichlids in the pond?
Of course, there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of them. They're everywhere. I was just talking about that today. Actually, look on tomorrow's video on OFR, not behind the scenes, Ohio Fish Rescue. I talked about the cichlids and showed the cichlids in the pool pond today, so that'll be on tomorrow's video. So you'll see how many there are. Colleen Perkins says, how's baby? Colleen, I need you. You need to send me a picture of your red tail because believe it or not, I told you I would keep it forever here so you can come visit it. But here's the problem. In the last week, we took in about 12 red tails, all about the same size. I don't know which one's yours now. We haven't gotten rid of any, so yours is still here. But send me a picture of it so that I can differentiate, put him in the 3,000, and we can find homes for the others, you know? That's my problem. I don't know which one's yours. I'm sorry.
We got Baffy says, how's the Jow? Need a catfish feeding video. He's doing good. I actually have him hand feeding. So the Jow, the Goonch, the Wallago Leary, the Black Devil Cat, I all hand feed.
And they're getting scary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Justin Glenn says, what happened to the big firewood? Listen, guys, why do you feel the need to keep asking me about fish we're not showing? That really irks me. Here's a video of this. Because I didn't show the pool, why is everybody jumping on my case saying there's something wrong in the pool room? Something happened. Something's bad. Something died. No. The pool room was dark that night. I didn't show it because of that. I didn't show the firewood. Why? Because we were videoing other things. The firewood cat is in with the stingrays in our pond, in with the little, well, I call him little, but he's a 3-foot arapaima now. He's in there, and we have not got him to eat yet, but he is in there, you know. Did you get him to eat?
No.
Okay, so he hasn't eaten
Those
yet.
Things go on strike for
yes, we had to force feed our last one. A long time it went. So, you know, give us time, you know. He's hiding under the biofilter, and he's in the pond. He's there. Stop worrying about fish we don't show you. Ask questions about the fish we show you because that's what we're videoing. Okay?
We got Ange for $5. She said a couple of clams for Lavaca.
Oh, I like her sense of humor. She's funny.
I'm not going to read that one.
Why?
Stirring trouble. We got Pale Horse Rider for $5. He said, keep it up.
Oh, thank you, Pale Horse Rider.
And then
Wait, didn't he say Friday too?
I think he did.
He did. Friday, y'all.
And then we got Joey Campbell's for $2. Says from Sue Ann Campbell through me.
Aw,
well, thanks, guys.
Thank you. But yeah, Sue Ann, send us a picture of your red tail so that I can know I got the right one. Because they're all in the 580 or the 550 right now. Quarantine tank. There's actually like 10 red tails in there, ain't there?
Yeah.
It's overstocked, and I need to get some out of there. So I need a picture of your fish named Baby.
Brittany Brown says the SpongeBob tank looked great. Did you get a reaction from Bridget's son? I can't believe you mistook the 10-gallon decorations as SpongeBob.
Well, one of them was SpongeBob. The other two weren't. But, you know, Bridget did tell me he loves SpongeBob. That's why I got all the SpongeBob decorations I had here for him. And now the tank looks great with his decorations and ours mixed together. It's got his same color gravel, and we put a bubble wall in there. And, you know, no, he's coming over this Sunday. Reaper is actually going to her house tomorrow and going to move her remaining fish from her tank and the filter that's on her 10-gallon over to the 55, use the filter on there, and put her fish into the 55 now. And then he's going to move the 10-gallon tank down below so they can use that for babies or quarantine or whatever. And it's got matching gravel. There's no decorations in it now. So that's what Reaper's going to do tomorrow, part of his behind-the-scenes video. He's going to do that for me because she lives right out there by him.
Oh, Sizzle Iguana Click says, who is your favorite artist at Lost Lands? So, you know,
who is it?
Each year, you know, you go and you see your favorites. Well, it's always the decision. You know, he's always the greatest.
Good daddy. He knows this.
But my second would have to be Sullivan King.
Really? Sullivan King was there? I mean, well, I know he was there, but he's your second best?
Love him.
What about DJ Diesel? He was there.
I went and seen him for a half an hour. He's more.
But we know him personally. He hugged you. He hugged me.
He threw down a good set, but
Did
I
he?
only
Awesome.
seen him for a half hour because we were so jam packed. They had so many different artists
God.
clashing with each other.
What was the wattage this year?
It's always a million.
Well, it was 1 million last year. It reached up to. It was supposed to be 500,000. Then they upped it to 1 million.
And it's been a million for the last few years now, but he keeps changing the types of speakers because he got so tired of renting the equipment. He bought the sound company
Okay.
and sat them down.
The whole sound company.
Yeah, he bought it and said, "Hey, these speakers aren't good enough for me. I want you to make exclusive speakers for me."
It's got to sound like the caddy thumping down the street, just 100 million times louder.
Yeah, he does a lot of shows outdoors, so he's like, I want everyone to feel it outdoors. So he made these.
That's hard to do too, feeling outdoors. That's why I used to love the Richfield Coliseum for all the concerts, because it was a big steel or cement enclosure, and the concerts were the best in there. Richfield Coliseum, best concerts ever. AC/DC, Led Zeppelin. I mean, best concerts ever was in Richfield Coliseum. They closed that down, and now you got Blossom. It's never been the same. Terrible sound. You never get that thump. And that's why I like when they do it at like the Cleveland Convention Center or something like that. They tried it at the tank plant. What's that called now? The tank plant. Remember, I used to work there. Don't look at me all spaced. What's it called on right off the highway? Anyway, it's a big steel building. So In Excess came there, and we set up for the show. We hung these because it's 100-foot tall ceilings, and it's like, I don't know, 1.5 miles inside. I mean, that's how big this tank plant is. And they used to build tanks back in the 50s for the, blah, 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 and 40s and stuff for the war. And they closed it down and they reopened it for special events. Now you have the yearly like roller coaster carnival thing going in there. You have the
IX Center.
There you go, the IX Center. Thank you. What is wrong with you? You knew it all along.
It's not a big steel building.
Yes, it is. It's all steel. I used to work there. It's a steel enclosed building. It's 100-foot tall and 1.5 miles long and 1.5 miles wide. I set up shows there. Now, we set up for In Excess, and all we did was hung curtains 100-foot down all the way around for the concert. Man, it sounded horrible, because there was no wood. You need a wood enclosed building, Well, I'm saying back in our day, wood enclosed, like, my stereo in the living room sounds phenomenal, shakes this house, 8,000 watts, But if I was to put that into a steel building, it would sound 1,000,000 times different, And now they're coming up with technology to make it sound however in whatever environment. They didn't have that back then. Back then it was, you got to go to Richfield Coliseum. So, yeah, In Excess was a big bust at the IX Center. It was horrible.
Uh-oh. We got some Bass Nectar fans.
Oh, no.
He's canceled now, but
Why is he canceled?
Not talk about it. We got Gravy Davy for $5. Said, been out of town for work and finally home having a beer on a Friday with you fellas.
Yes. Here's to you, brother.
Can my Oscar live at your guys' place? I can ship him even though he's 13 inches. I'm 15 hours away.
We can throw him in probably the 750. But here's the problem with that. I've done this many times for people. And if your Oscar gets in a fight with somebody fish that we didn't expect, and, he ends up dying, I feel completely, utterly upset, I can replace your fish. I can't replace your friend, So I really don't like doing that unless it's a have-to situation.
I think he's just asking for a rehome.
You don't want it back?
Doesn't sound like it.
We can take it and keep it here, and if you ever need it back, it's there. But the problem is, if he's not available, he got, him and another Oscar got in a fight and he died, something like that happened, which is very, very, very rare because we watch our fish daily. But if something does happen, man, I feel horrible. So I don't like doing that unless it's a necessity, a have-to situation. Of course, I'll help. But, man, It's so bad when you got to tell somebody else, yeah, your fish under our care died. It's so horrible. It's I'm supposed to be Big Rich, the fish rescue. Oh my god. But see, nobody can tell what's going to happen. Like what was that we had? Oh, we got from this one buddy of ours, Big Bill, a big red-tailed cat, and then we got the hugest peacock bass we ever saw. And he lived in an open-topped pond in his basement for 4 years. So we put him in the 3,000 gallon. Everything's fine. He lived in an open-top tank. We put him in an open-top tank. That night, Big Bill went after a tiger shovel nose, and in the fight, they must have spooked or scared that peacock bass, because when we came out in the morning, he was on the floor. Now, we had to tell the previous owner that we had your fish for 1 day, and he's dead. It was the worst day ever. I mean, this thing was 3 inches?
30 and a half.
30 and a half, okay. I don't remember, but he was the biggest peacock bass I've ever seen. 30 inches is huge for peacock bass. So I felt just completely horrible. Who would think he's been in an open top tank all his life, a cement pond in his basement. Never jumped. He jumped on us the first day. And man, I felt so bad. It was horrible. I hate that part of the hobby. No one can ever tell what's going to happen. So that's the reason I don't like doing it. But
well, we've got a peacock bass now. We've been growing from our buddy Russ, and he's getting close.
He's like 28. He's huge.
Getting close, but I think he's fatter and more girthy than that bass we got in the first place.
We'll see.
I seen him last night, and I feed him pretty much every night because I want him to get fat and big. And
you feed all the fish every night.
No.
Or do you skip fish so that only this one gets big? No, you feed them all.
I skip tanks.
Oh, we know that. Oh, you're saying you feed him every night. Okay, correct. I got it. Every 3 days we feed the big fish because they need time because they eat so much and their bellies are so huge. You're sitting on them. You can't feed them the next day. So we feed the 4,400 and the 3,000 one day. We feed the 2,200, the 1,000, and the pool the next day. That kind of thing. So every 3 days, every one of the big fish get fed. They need time to process.
Someone's asking if we plan on heating the pond out back.
No.
So we've done it in the past. It's just a massive waste of energy. But you know what? We might do it again for YouTube video to show people the pain and the suffering you have to go through to have a tropical pond outside that's heated. It's possible. You can do it, but it's just you're throwing money right down the drain.
Brittany Brown asked, Josh, would you ever take Pops to an EDM concert? That would be a live.
I already answered her and said I told her I took you to an Excision concert.
I went to Excision, and that was great. What was that concert we went to downtown? I was in the bathroom. That was the Excision?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I ended up leaving about halfway, and I went out in the truck and fooled around with Tracy. The limo. We had my limo at the time. So we drove everybody there. And that was, while I had the limo, that was the good thing. The kids can all go to the concerts. They can, drink, have fun, blah, blah, blah. And then, me and Tracy would watch a movie out in the limo. They'd come out after the concert, get in the limo, and be having fun. We'd take them home, and they got to sleep it off. It was a great thing. I loved having my limo here. But I ended up selling it. And, I haven't gone to an Excision concert since. Like Reaper puts it, there's no solos? There's no bands to play? No.
It's immersive.
I tell you what, it is impressive sounding. Back in the day, I went to every concert out there. I have this big concert t-shirt selection, collection that I've got. I used to go to every concert. I thought that was the thing to do, and now I went to Excision and I was thoroughly impressed. Their quality of sound was amazing.
And at that venue, we were limited because it was an indoor venue to 50,000 watts.
They had to limit you. And that 50,000 watts was amazing. And the quality of that sound, that bass just moved me across the room.
He brought 100,000 with them, but anytime he goes above the threshold, he's got to pay a ticket. At one point during the night, he said, "You know what? You guys want it? Screw it!" And he turned it all the way up. He said, "I'll pay that ticket."
Oh goodness.
All right. Well, Sonny Dennis said, "What do you do with a snail takeover?" So I'm guessing it's pest snails from the pet store.
Here's what we do. We throw a piece of romaine lettuce, cucumber in there, something like that, weigh it down, and then in the morning when you first turn on the lights, it's covered with snails. You pick it up and take it out. Okay, feed them to your puffer, put them in a tank to where you want them, and we give them away to people. I don't kill anything, but and then we put the lettuce back in the next day, and after 3 or 4 days of doing this, you're getting 2 and 3 snails left, to where your pest is gone.
Clown loaches or puffers.
Clown loaches eat them, puffers eat them.
Yeah. Rich, what was your all-time favorite concert?
Ooh, that would have to be the Gods. You people probably haven't heard of the Gods, but it was a biker band way back in the late 70s, early 80s, and I loved them. I knew every word of every song. I was, I think, 17 years old. They were playing at Sabres in the Flats on the back of a flatbed truck, and Eric Moore was there. And next thing you know, the lead guitarist puts his guitar down by me because I'm singing every word note for note. I'm front row right there, got my arms on the truck. And he puts his guitar head down me, and I grab his guitar head and I shake it. I'm like, "You rock!" And he tries pulling me up with it, and I let go of it, of course. And he puts his guitar head back. I'm like, "Okay." So I grab hold of it, the neck again, and he pulls me up on the stage. I'm like, "Okay, this is awesome." And he pushes me to the mic. Well, at this point, the talking section comes in. Now, the talking section, the song's called "Gotta Keep It Running." And it's, I'm going to use you, babe. I'm going to lose you, babe. I don't care what you say. I'm going to burn right up like a $2 pistol. Rocky top to the sun. I'm alive and I'm a jiving. I'm a passing you by. Can't stop for anyone. Got to keep it running. That's the name of the song. Well, it does a talking section in the middle. And they pulled me up on stage. This is the greatest moment of my young life. They pulled me up on stage and I'm doing the talking section in front of I don't know, 500-800 people, something like that. And, it starts off with, "Now big up, y'all. Now we stoned to the bone and we hot and sweaty. Look at us. We're everything we're everything your parents ever warned us about. They think we're all junkies. But everybody's some kind of junkie. There's money junkie, booze junkie, sex junkie, dope junkie. And there's one thing that they don't understand. All of us, you and I, we're gods. And God's are rock and roll junkies. Now, every night we hit a different town. Every night we get high. Every night we rock and roll. Every night we go crazy and we know we're killing ourselves, but it feels so good." I mean, I talked this whole part it was perfect. This is the most fun I had as a kid on stage with the Gods. And, I'll never forget it. And then they pushed me off stage. They went on with the song. And it was the funnest time of my young years. And now later on in life, I got his older brother, Richie. I think he was 10 or 12. I took him to a Gods concert in Akron, and I went with my sister. And as soon as the show was over with, she grabbed me and grabbed Richie and took us backstage. And I'm like, "You can't, you don't." She goes, "Don't worry about it." She starts opening doors, and she's just telling people off and pulling us through. We find where the Gods are, and she pulled us in there. And I'm like, "Oh my God." I told him about that night. I told him how much I love these guys all my life. And, this is my son now. And I brought him to your concert. And they signed a shirt for him. Everybody in the band signed a shirt for him, gave it to him, and then gave him another one to wear. Then they were like, "All right, kids, it's time to go now. This is adult time back here." I'm like, "Got you." Let's go, Richie. It was the greatest moment. I mean, I love the Gods. The Gods rock. It wasn't the most powerful concert. It wasn't the most impressive concert, the most people concert. It was the most fun I ever had at a concert. I've gone to many other concerts that were awesome, but the Gods sticks with me. If any of you don't know who the Gods are, go check out the Gods. Got to Keep It Running. It is awesome. It's a biker song, biker band, and it was great.
We got Con Worker 1 for 20 bucks. He says, I took a little reel of this live and posted it on my IG. Just trying to help get the word out for OFR.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for the updates on the
Ouch.
baby tiger. Which one is from me, the smaller one or the bigger one? Lucky
You
guy.
can't tell no more.
It's the bigger one.
It's the bigger one?
Yes.
You saw a difference? Because I was out there today.
I know my tiger fish.
Okay, but I did a tour today and I'm showing the kids. I'm like, look, kids, look at their teeth. They articulate their mouth like this.
Mhm.
And I'm showing them, and they look the same size.
The small one is catching up quick, but the small one's starting to go on strike and not eat as much. The big one's going on a hunger strike, and he's gonna balloon up and then leave.
Not a hunger strike, but he's going on an eating ritual.
So I've noticed that tigerfish go through phases. Sometimes they'll just eat to maintain life, and sometimes they're out there and they're eating everything they possibly can. So that's what I'm talking about. He's basically going through a growth spurt.
Michael says Method Man is still the hardest hitting of all days. Have you been to an EDM concert lately? Come on.
All right, we have RC Field for 10 bucks. Says it's impressive how many tanks and ponds you guys added over the last couple of years. Any plan on buying new property to keep growing?
Oh.
Also, any update on the aquaponics?
I've offered to buy the neighbors. They don't want to sell. I can't really sell this place and buy someplace else already set up. So I'm going to have to redo everything I do if I move. The only thing I can do here is add on one more extension, which is 36 foot by 16 foot. But it'll be a 12-foot ceiling. It's down a level from where we are now. So there will be an arch in the old fish room where you'd walk through the arch and go down 4 steps, and now you'll be in the new fish room. But that's the only thing I can build. That's all I've got left.
So we got someone asking, how big is the tortoise supposed to get? I can't wait to watch him grow. He'll get about 100 pounds. And
No. Sulcatas are the third largest. They can get up there. Here, look it up real quick. Sulcata tortoise, how much they weigh at full grown. They're the third largest tortoise. The Galapagos and what's the other one?
The Aldabra.
Aldabra is the second biggest. But see, now those two are fighting for first place because they're both the same size. They get like 300 and some 300 and some pounds. Stop.
Adult sulcata, 79 to 110 pounds.
I thought it'd be bigger.
I feel sorry. I feel sorry for your girlfriend.
I didn't lie to your mama. Oh my God.
So I try and, pride myself on sticking to the facts, and I'm still not, perfect. I get the things wrong, but that sulcata tortoise, I knew.
You guys see what I got to put up with now. If I'm ever in the slightest bit wrong, he makes a point of correcting me.
Because someone else is going to catch it. And rather we correct it now than someone in a comment saying, you're wrong, it gets 100 pounds, blah, 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 blah. So,
I don't understand this one. Read that to yourself.
You're way back in the chat.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. All right. I had a question here, but I lost it.
Oh, Shannon Gregory says, I remember the video of the aftermath of Big Bill's attack. Yeah, that was heartbreaking. That was horrible. Yes, we still have the peacock bass in the aquarium with the driftwood. That's from Danielle Tracy Ann.
How big are the green terrors you guys have? They're probably 8-inch.
Are they?
I would say.
About that.
From tip to fin, I would say about 8
That's
inches.
how you normally measure, ain't it?
Donna Lucas says, hey, Bigrich and Josh, did you see the video from Predatory Fins? They are moving to Long Island, New York. They are selling off their tanks and fish. They have some nice tanks for sale.
Talked to Rod today. He's not actually selling them. He put them up to see if somebody would offer some ridiculous amount that he could not pass on. I asked him today, and he's like, bro, I'm not really selling them. I just put them up, see if somebody would offer me something for him that I
But
couldn't refuse.
all the smaller tanks, he's definitely getting rid of them. We'll just
Yes.
buy the fish too.
I mean,
So-
now he says he plans on being out of there by March of next year. So you've got time. There's a lot of things going on that I can't tell you. But you know, since you've already said it, I can say that.
Cichlid Dave says, "Why don't you get some caimans? We've had 2 here, and they're just mean. They're not
The
very
dwarf
fun.
caimans are all that you're allowed, and they are very mean. We had the American alligators, and they're very docile and very, you know, fun. Never bit anybody. They were always great, up to 3 foot. And the Department of Agriculture showed up here and took them from us. And we bought it out of RMS Pet Store for $75. 2 years later, they got moved onto the you're not allowed to own list, and they showed up here because I'm on Facebook. Look at Allie. She's 3 foot. Here she is swimming with the kids, and I throw her in the pool. You know, so I had no idea they were illegal, and they showed up here and took them.
Well, that's starting to be a common occurrence amongst a lot of states. They're putting more and more, you know, policies in place to stop people from owning these animals. So, you
Right.
know, the whole fish thing in Florida, they're starting to, you know, revoke permits, as well as California, Texas. That just all the southern states, basically, they're adding
at the
more
camera.
and more just bad laws that you can't own these fish. So it's making it harder and harder to keep this hobby alive. That brings me into my next question, because someone asked is, do you think the number of big tanks are growing, or are people getting rid of their tanks? So there's a lot of people that are getting rid of their big tanks just as fast as people are wanting to grow and, you know, get a large tank and join the ranks. But as far as, you know, monster fish keepers, there's only a select few. Now, when I say monster fish keepers, I'm talking, you know, people who can house, you know, 4-foot fish for life. So, you know, I'm talking, you know, predatory fins ourselves. You got Victor in Florida. There's a bunch of other names I didn't mention in Florida. There's guys out in Cali, of course. There's guys all around Canada, but those numbers are starting to dwindle. And we hope that you guys are talking in there and messing up on the live stream. So let's keep it to a minimum, please. Sorry, guys. But yes, back to what I was saying. I do wish that, you know, more and more people would get into the monster life and have big, massive ponds. It's a fun way to go. So hopefully we can encourage more people to, you know, grow to this size. But it might not always happen. We got Ange for $5, and she said
Hold up,
Friday.
Do these people realize what a regime I live under? I'm not allowed to do this, do that, do that. I'm the dad here. Come on now.
I say keep it down. We're live. And we got 7 minutes left. So we got to give the people what they want.
Love you, Ange. Thank you. Here's to you.
That's a question for Reaper.
Wow, I jumped all the way down to the bottom. I didn't touch it at all. Did you touch my mouse?
No, I didn't touch your mouse. I thought you were gonna fire back like a scene out of Step Brothers or something. That's what it sounded like.
Senile stepbrother.
The scene out of Step Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Did you touch my drumsticks?
Right. No, you called me a senile stepbrother. I'm like, wait a minute. Where does that even come from?
All right, guys. So we got 6 minutes left. Let's go ahead and get the last bit of questions in the chat.
Do you guys like the answering the questions format better than us just gabbing and talking and having fun? You know, let us know. Warren Jones says saltwater, please. I haven't seen them in a while. Let me see if I got a saltwater background here. Oh, that's
lame.
too purple.
That's lame. You should just delete that one.
Yeah.
And you probably delete the Pittsburgh background too,
Yeah.
and the 150.
Just
We gotta
remember,
redo some
just remember
background.
this. Yes, yes. The pool parties we had here then, Josh, before we had any, you know, responsibilities of feeding the fish and taking care of the fish and moving the fish and keeping the fish water full and just nonstop fish.
All right, so we have Dougie. He says, "How do you deal with
Josh,
chlorine?"
it's rough, brother. It's rough.
What?
He said, "How do you deal with Josh?" I said, "It's rough, brother. It's rough."
He said chlorine. He says, "Surely too much water to use dechlor." Actually, if we're doing water changes, we do use dechlor if we're using straight tap water.
I think he's talking about the water we got coming in constant steady.
Yeah.
I have a dosing system, and I got that off of one of the tanks. You guys might remember the video had Tracy on the front with a sledgehammer, and it was a 2,300 gallon tank. They had a dosing system on there for their water coming in. It would drop so much prime in, and it had a big bottle that they'd fill up with prime, or dechlor or whatever the fact may be. And we brought that home and we use that here. So the hose is putting water in, and we've got it dripping. I think it's 2,000 gallons a day. Does that sound right? I don't remember.
It's just over 2,000.
Okay, and we've got it, dosing to take care of the chlorine and the chloramines and all that stuff.
All right.
Actually, we had that running for probably 6 months because we've got all this water. We're talking over 130,000 gallons and only 2,000 gallons coming a day. That little bit of chlorine didn't really hurt the fish.
Yeah,
we added the dosing system to it just in case. We didn't push it any further, but for 6 months, it ran straight chlorine water into our tanks.
Yeah, we used to throw stuff.
We throw stuff in every once in a while. Yeah,
it would run all night, and you'd come out in the morning, throw something in. But I mean, if you have that, volume of water, if you walk up to your 300 gallon tank and you add in a 5 gallon bucket of water,
not going to do nothing.
Right. You go a cup, I go 5 gallons.
Yeah, you're always extreme. Look at your concerts.
Aaron Asnoff says my tap water has 10 parts per million nitrate. Is that bad? I mean, it's not.
It's
perfect,
not good,
but it's
because
not bad.
you're trying to bring down the nitrates in your tank and you're adding nitrates. You know what I'm saying, for doing water changes. So it's not good, but I mean, if you're bringing it down from 50 to 25 and you're adding 10, you're bringing it down to 35. Do another water change and you bring it down even lower, and you're right good to add it.
Yeah, I'm gonna correct you on that again.
Oh my God.
Someone else will, but if you're at 50 and you're adding water at 10 parts per million, yes, simple math can be, if you're adding
not 10 parts per million, I'm saying
that,
a 50% water change.
That's what you didn't add. You didn't say 50%. You just said,
well, I'm talking tanks. I always did it 50% water change, and as long in between as possible. When the nitrates build up to say 40 or 50 parts, I do a 50 part, it goes down to 25, or 20. But if you're using 10 parts per million water to go in there, you bring 50 down to 30 or 35, because you're putting in 10 parts per million.
Yep.
So you got to do 2 water changes that way. But they get the point.
Michael said you guys can go 1 month without a water change easy. I mean, it's possible, but we never turn off our drip system. It's constantly there.
Non-stop running.
We don't like doing water changes. They suck.
The less work we can do, the better, the smarter we are. Okay. This is a question from George Michael.
George Mitchell.
All right. He says, Reaper, I have a weeding question for you. If I use vinegar, salt, and soap liquid, does it really work at killing weeds? If so, how long does it last? I'll tell you what. We mixed that up. We did it, and I swear by it. It will kill them. 2-3 days later, they're dying and dead, and they don't come back. Other ones can start up and grow, but not in that spot. So, once you start doing it, you're going to really like the results. So
if the solution is sitting on the spot, it won't go back. But if it rains, it will get washed away, and you have to reapply.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so we got time for one more question. Which one is it going to be? I'm not finding one I like.
Bruce says, I never really understand why USA can't ship the red arowana, but Canada can. Okay, rules like that just bug me. Those are beautiful fish, yes. And we're working on a permit to be able to have these Asian arowanas. We're working hard on it. So this is in our future to where we can display them here.
Well, that's kind of seems like a good point to end the show on. So it is that 8 o'clock hour, and we had a great Fishy Friday. You guys get one more live stream with my dad.
One more
off to Aquashella.
One more question too, because we wasted some time. But check out tomorrow's video. You're gonna like it. All right. What's the next question, Josh? Last one.
I didn't find one.
Right here.
What? That's not a question. Yeah. See, no questions.
Yeah, there's no questions. You're giving us things and saying bye.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Loved hanging out with you. Thank you for spending your Friday night with us. As always, it's been awesome. And, stay fishy, my friends. How about that?
All right, guys. Hope you have a good
Love you guys.
weekend.
Oh, my goodness. Where is this one? And then end stream. There we go.